Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
And we're so excited that you're here this week as we geek out about a lot, actually.
I'm going to geek out about my bucket hat, which is a DAPS Magic bucket hat. I shouldn't have taken my hat off. I have hat hair. Anyway, DAPS Magic bucket hat. Now you know why Mr. Daps doesn't take his hat off.
Fair.
Would you wear a bucket hat?
I have worn a bucket hat.
Would you match with me with a bucket hat?
Maybe.
Would you?
I didn't say yes.
Okay, but you said maybe. You said maybe.
So you're
I said
maybe.
maybe. But yeah, anyway, DAPS Magic bucket hat. Go to a website, teespring.com/dapsmagic.
Something like that.
Something like that.
You can have one too.
You can have one in many colors.
Be cool like Katie and wear a DAPS Magic bucket hat.
And then next week, I will be wearing another bucket hat because if you haven't been able to tell, bucket hats are kind of my thing right now. Next week, I'll be wearing another purple bucket hat, but this bucket hat is inspired by someone very special to me. And I'm going to leave it at that. There we go. I'm just really excited.
Okay, you do that.
Bucket hat.
All right. Well, before we get into the week in geek, we will remind you that if you have any plans to go somewhere at Disney in the future, use Mouseways Travel. You can do that by going to dapsmagic.com and clicking on travel, or going to mouseways.com/dapsmagic. They'll take care of the details so you can just enjoy the magic. And they do that for us, and they will do the same for you, free of charge. All right, let's move right on into the week because there's a ton going on. The biggest story of the week, obviously, is the return of high fives and hugs to the Disneyland and Walt Disney World Resort. You can now do that with Mickey Mouse. You can now do that with Winnie the Pooh. I don't know. But a few of us were in the park yesterday to experience the return of all of these magical experiences. And I think we're going to start off by showing you what our day was like. And we are back.
Magical.
I was like, I don't remember how that ended. That was magical. It was fun to relive it through the day in 2 minutes instead of 9 hours. Mm-hmm. What did you think about the return of hugs and character meet and greets and traditional interactions?
So I hopped into the parks yesterday for lunch. I actually didn't go to the parks to like see characters. I was like, oh, Bengal barbecue sounds good for lunch. Let me go get lunch because I'm spoiled and like Magic Key holders can do that. And I walked through the tunnel, and the Dapper Dans were singing at the firehouse, and it was Mickey was out and Goofy was out, and characters are just walking around, and I took a deep breath, and I literally was like, oh my god, Disneyland's back. And it's not something that I realized I was missing. So I was like, of course we've been at Disneyland for the last year almost.
Yep.
That it's been reopened. But it was just this sense of like Disneyland feels like Disneyland again. And we gained back a part we were missing. I will say that I still don't know when I am going to personally be comfortable like hugging characters again, because it's not in my realm of comfortability right now. But it's so nice to see, especially families getting to meet characters together. I also saw a little Mirabelle that met Mirabelle yesterday, and
There was
like
a few of those. It was
just
pretty
to
cute.
walk by, and I was like, oh my god, this is magical. Yeah, it's honestly, it's a part of Disneyland I don't think any of us realized we were missing.
Totally agree, and very much the best actually, there's two analogies that popped into my mind as I was watching yesterday. One is we knew when we came back and there was no Disneyland, there was this palpable sense, Disneyland band, there was this palpable sense of like something's big is missing.
Yeah.
And then it came back and it just filled the park
Mhm.
in a way with the music and the magic that they have. And this was like that, but we didn't know it was missing.
Yeah.
And the closest thing that was already back that reminded me of is when you see Mater or Lightning McQueen driving through Cars Land.
Yeah.
That felt right.
Yeah.
And so there was that little bit of like, oh, I love Cars Land, especially it seems like at night you see them easier or something.
Yes.
But seeing the cars drive through Cars Land was something that was always super special. And then getting to see that happen resort wide, just really, it surprised me how much of an impact that had, just on the day, on the way people interacted, the smiles. Like there were so many more people yesterday in Town Square than I think I've seen since reopening. Like
Mhm.
people were stopping and they were maybe just taking pictures, maybe just kind of looking and watching things happen, maybe getting in lines to meet the characters, but it definitely had this bustle that hasn't been there. Same goes for Matterhorn Way. We saw a bunch of characters up there, mainly Mary Poppins and Bert,
Which
but
is magical.
we missed. I think I saw that Peter Pan and Wendy were up there. Aladdin and Genie, I think, were out. There were so many different characters, Red and Captain Jack, throughout the parks that just brought everything to this bustling. It just felt like it's supposed to feel, and you don't realize how much of a difference. The other thing I thought that was really interesting was the amount of people, as I was watching different interactions happening, the amount of people that either choked out or completely started bawling the moment they get to the front of the line. And you'd see them and they're happy and they're whatever. And then Mickey goes in for the hug or whatever it is. And you just see these grown people that look like really tough people sometimes and others that you would expect to cry, but like across the spectrum, just suddenly you'd see them just lose it. And at first I was like, you're like, okay, that's just this person. But it wasn't just that person. It was multiple people. And I heard from some friends that this was something that happened throughout the day. And then there's the little kids that are running up and excited to see their friends that they haven't seen in 2 years. And then there's other people still, I'm sure that maybe this was part of the reason for tears too, that haven't had a hug in 2 years.
Mhm.
Like not everybody is as lucky as other people, or have the same living and arrangements, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And so
You're gonna make me cry, dang.
but that's what we were seeing happening. And it was really like, you think of iconic days that I've been a pass holder of some form since 1995, and this will probably go up in one of those memorable days of like, wow, this was in some ways almost more special than the reopening day.
Mhm.
In many ways bigger than when Rise of Resistance and Galaxy's Edge opened, just because in many ways they brought the heart of Disney back to Disney. And so I wrote a piece called What a Difference 6 Feet Makes. And it really was realizing what a profound difference in your daily Disney experience, or your Disney day experience, I don't know, it makes when you're not 6 feet away from a character, and instead you can high five, you can hug, you can get twirled around like that little girl, and really experience the magic in a completely different way.
I think there's a few things about this. Anyone who has watched the Imagineering story,
Yes,
it's Tokyo.
this
Disney.
was that.
It's Tokyo Disneyland, and it is this great, awful event that shook. God, that was a terrible word choice. But it did. It
great and it was a
Shook.
great awful event.
No. Like
shook.
I meant
I
like
know,
in
correct.
magnitude.
Massive.
Yes, in scale and magnitude.
I'm just adding some levity to
Ha
your.
ha ha! You're so funny.
I know.
No, but it was the signal to everyone was that like Mickey Mouse was greeting them and
Yep.
gave them a big hug, and because Tokyo Disneyland was closed
Yeah.
after the earthquake, and so it was a moment of everything's gonna be okay. Go hug Mickey Mouse.
Yep.
And these were people that had lost so much, and it's so I'm seeing something very similar. Everyone has gone through tremendous loss in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And just being able to hug your pal Mickey Mouse,
Very much so.
there's a simple pleasure to it.
So I see in the chat, Caleb is asking, what was your favorite or is your favorite character to hug upon their return? Caitie, I know your answer, but go ahead.
You do know I would obviously you know my answer. Again, I don't really know when I'm going back to hugging characters. We'll see when I get
Beside the point. What's
I know.
the question?
What's the question?
Yes.
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck. That is
Easy.
the answer. Very good. Now,
What's yours?
what would you think?
You have to answer.
I know.
I don't know. Mr. Daps likes taking pictures of characters.
But let's just say meet and greet. You could go with that.
I feel like you would say Mickey. I feel like you're a Mickey Mouse kind of guy.
Only because I can't meet Kermit.
You want to meet Walk Around Kermit?
Any Kermit. That'd
But
be great.
Walk Around Kermit was so scary.
That's fine.
No.
It's Kermit's frog. It'd be great.
Anyway, I think
Sweetums actually be really cool.
funny.
I think that would be really fun.
I think what we need to talk about here, the most important thing, and I have not seen it yet. Avengers Campus is the
actually,
true
that's where I was gonna
winner
go next,
of
but,
characters,
because
this is truly Avengers Campus is meant to be a bustling hub where all the supers hang out, they
Yep.
work, they live. And so I think that this brings a new vibrancy to the land of like, oh, you're walking over there and there's your man Tony and there's your man.
Well, and it was interesting who was walking around and who wasn't. So Iron Man was always in a queue.
Yeah.
And
I'd
that
expect
makes
that.
sense.
Well, he's a
And-
billionaire.
Sure.
He's got things to do.
Absolutely. And I also think it probably enabled people to get PhotoPass. But Captain Marvel was walking around a lot. Ant-Man and the Wasp were walking around. Black Panther was out a little bit. I don't remember if we saw anybody else. Oh, the Eternals walked through. Yeah, it was very interesting because it totally changed the vibe of Avengers Campus, and we love Avengers Campus.
We do.
There's so many things happening there. But
what we have talked about always with Avengers Campus is the standout is entertainment. You walk into Avengers Campus and it doesn't matter what time you go in. We've always said it's a great place to go. You can turn in any direction and point and you will find a character. That's what's fun about Avengers Campus. So now it's on a new scale.
yeah, and it totally changed the vibe.
And can we talk about the most important thing that has come out?
The thing today?
The thing today.
Yes. Ant-Man was walking around, or was it the Wasp?
They were both.
Okay, they were both
had
walking
it.
around with a mini Bugs Land. And I had been told a very, 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 very long time ago that this was going to be coming with this land. And then the land opened and it wasn't there. And I was like, what the heck? And so I'm very happy to see that it finally showed up
I love that
almost a year late.
it obviously makes sense for Ant-Man and Wasp to have it. I love that it is on a PIM particle because obviously who else would have shrunk it?
And it moves.
And it moves.
Yeah, that was very cool.
But again, like this is bringing, and if we know anything about Avengers Campus, which to be fair, none of us know anything about Avengers Campus. We're constantly all
I was
surprised.
like, where is this going to go?
But if any of us know anything about Avengers Campus, is that Marvel has a million more tricks up their sleeve. Quite literally, I hope Ant-Man does a card
Well,
trick.
and I think the really interesting thing is, yes, we have all of these things happening, but all of this character interaction stuff comes right before a major movie.
Mhm.
And I think that's going to be very exciting to see how the reveals in the future change for characters that come out. You know, who knows? Maybe with Moon Knight now. Is Moon Knight going to stay up above? Or
Okay,
is Moon Knight going to move around? I don't know.
Mr. Knight, I'm sure will be walking around. Moon Knight, I feel like he's gonna be sulking in a corner.
See, I think
I feel like he's like,
I want to see Moon Knight down on that I don't know, those tiered things.
the steppy thing.
Yeah, the steppy thingies.
in front of Sanctum.
Yeah. But no, this is the first time since Avengers Campus opened that we're experiencing it the way it was envisioned to be
Which
experienced.
is
And I
rad.
texted Murray yesterday because he's, I think, the biggest Avengers Campus fan
is.
we know.
He is.
And I was like, I will admit, I've enjoyed Avengers Campus, but seeing it today, I get it now.
Yeah,
Like it
100%.
it went from a like, oh, this is cool, to like, I just want to watch Captain Marvel go around and geek out with people. And like, I even got a picture with Captain Marvel, which, when do I go up and ask for a picture?
He never gets pictures
Yeah,
of characters.
It was crazy.
And I think also important to note, like, I know we were very clear we love Avengers Campus. We spent like 8 hours at Avengers Campus on opening day.
Yeah.
If this had been in place, we probably would have stayed there for
It'd be
16.
interesting to see how that would have changed things, because that would have made, I feel like, things even more insane opening day.
Oh God, yeah.
In fact, I almost think they would have had to go to what they did just to accommodate that many people, because there'd be no way for them to get around.
You wouldn't even be able to see characters. You'd just be like,
oh, that's nice. Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you are going in to see the characters, make sure to check out our tips for meeting characters to keep your experience as magical and theirs as possible. And
TLDR,
hopefully you will find that is, what'd you say?
TLDR, be nice.
Oh, yeah. And so check those out and let us know what you think. And feel free to add in the comments there if you have any other tips that are kind and make the experience that much more magical as well. This week, we also got a look at the grand finale for the upcoming Main Street Electrical Parade, which is just a few days away. And it is very, very, very Small World inspired. And that is, I think, very magical. What did you think of it, Katie?
The biggest thing I love, reduce, reuse, recycle. It is the bacon finale float with new colors, and it's so pretty, which we already knew from concept art. It was pretty easy to tell, but it's so pretty, and they pulled it off so well.
It almost feels bigger, doesn't it?
It does.
Like there's more to look at with all the characters on it, and I'm gonna reserve what my favorite addition to it is until after I've seen it in person this weekend.
I know mine's gonna be.
But I loved the Small World Castle, I think you called at the end, and I just think we need to give credit where credit is due, because Ashley Taylor did a fantastic job with her designs for that, and then all of the people at Disney made it come to life. And I think hat tip to all of you, and that's just gonna be incredible to see.
I love that, and I also love that it's led by Blue Fairy,
and I can't wait to hear the music. Like, I think that's gonna be really fun too. I do wish they could make it sound more like the original music, that little harsher sound, like instead of
less synthy.
Well, in some ways more synthy. It's kind of one of those weird, it's
less filtered synthy.
Yeah.
Because right now, when I think like
less clean. It's too polished right now.
Yeah.
Kind of like that old, like,
gritty.
This thing feels like it might fall off the rails musically any second, and it's got that harshness to it.
Well, it sounds like it was recorded in a tin can, and I kind of love it.
Yeah, I kind of miss that stuff. But other than that, I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. We will have videos up later this week of the Main Street Electrical Parade, Disneyland forever, as long as weather permits, because there was a chance for rain on Friday.
It went away.
Oh, good. And then as soon as we can, World of Color as well.
You listen very closely, you will hear us screaming the bro down.
Will you?
You'll hear me.
Okay.
Not him, but you'll hear me.
I will bring a shotgun mic.
For a second, I thought you were gonna end that, and I was like, "Ooh, scary!"
No. We're not in Minnesota. What are you talking about?
I'm scared.
All right, moving on over to Epcot. We got this week the awesome mix for Guardians of the Galaxy Galactic Rewind, and it now includes, or what did you say? Or Cosmic? Yes, thank you. And now I can tell you that it includes September. Excellent song.
Do you remember?
Disco Inferno.
Uh-huh.
You can do that one now.
Burn, baby, burn.
Conga.
Everybody, let me hear that conga. Do, 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 do.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Everybody wants to-
Iran.
And I ran.
And
so
one way or another.
one way or another.
I think it's a great list. What do you think about it?
So my favorite song on here, from what I have seen
Don't
online,
worry, Katie almost knocked the show off. That's all.
I would have kept you guessing on what my favorite song on the list is. My favorite song on the list, from what I have read, is everyone's least favorite song on the list.
What is that?
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Why is it the least?
Because people are saying it doesn't feel coastery. It's too
Hmm.
slow. As I'm like, that is an ethereal coaster experience. To like, Everybody Wants to Rule the World is such a good song. And
I'm
like,
looking forward to September.
of course,
It just got a nice vibe.
do you remember?
Yeah.
I also think Conga's really like. I think every choice on here is really fun. But yeah, I saw Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and I lost my mind. Genuinely,
I'm
lost my
blaming
mind.
this attraction for really high flight prices for the next however many months.
That's fair.
'cause I'm like, I have the pass, I could go, and airlines have other ideas.
No.
Oh well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. I don't have a huge opinion on the celestial that's the villain. Is it Urson?
Sure.
I don't know. Like, I'm like, okay, it's
I
good.
just don't feel like I know enough about Celestials. I know there's an entire movie about them, but I still don't feel like I know them that well.
It'll be fine.
And I feel like
sorry.
I feel like I'll get to know them better through the attraction.
Maybe.
I don't
Hopefully.
know.
I'm sure
I'm
there'll be future
excited,
movies that we learn
though.
more about them as well.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for whenever we do get to experience it. And like it
Someday.
also goes back to, though, just the marketing for this. Like the trailer for it is like, I keep going back to how much fun that is, and it feels right. The thing I do wonder about is this now the gimmick for all Guardians of the Galaxy rides? Is you have 6 different variations or however many variations of songs, and no matter what happens,
How many more Guardians attractions do you think there'll be?
I don't know. There's more parks.
So you know what I would like to see? Personally,
I bet Hong Kong could get one.
Yeah.
Maybe Shanghai.
I would love if these songs rotated.
Oh, like
somehow.
from park to park?
No, like say if Mission Breakout every year or so took one song off the list, added a new song in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like keeping it fresh type of thing.
How do you know that's not going to happen?
It hasn't happened yet in the 6 years that 5 years?
4 years.
Well,
it
the
was
pandemic.
closed for a while. And, yeah.
I mean, it hasn't happened with Mission
And
Breakout yet.
Well, it has in some ways because they added the
Monsters
Monsters After Dark.
After Dark.
I would-
Monsters.
And I would not be surprised at all if with the holiday whatever thing coming up,
Oh, the Christmas
the
special?
Guardians holiday special, like it almost seems like a gimme that you add something into Mission Breakout.
But I think in the core lineup, it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Like, and there's still, it's really funny. We don't go on Mission
What
Breakout.
song would you add?
What song would I add?
Yeah.
I'm a big like yacht rock person. So you're putting me on the spot. Let me pull up a yacht rock playlist and I'll tell you.
You don't
what...
have anything that you're like
no
right off the bat.
No.
I'm like, oh, I want this one.
Ooh, I do.
Magical Mystery Tour.
It's from the Guardian soundtrack. So I don't know
Magical Mystery. No, you can't use one that's already in. Wouldn't Magical Mystery Tour be hilarious?
Yeah.
I feel like it'd work better with Cosmic Rewind than Mission Breakout, but Drummer Boy, Big M Bowie, Clock Key is saying, feel free to put any more that anybody has in the chat, and I'll try to read those as
Love will keep us together. That would be fun. See, I was gonna say Brandy, but that's on the soundtrack, so I really can't
do that.
Can't. That's also, dang it. There's so many good songs.
That's the problem.
Also, anything Queen.
Yeah.
Anything Queen would be good. I love Queen.
I think a really corny Paul McCartney song would be
I was
fun.
gonna say, are you gonna do the Wings?
Yeah, I feel like something from Wings would be funny. Listen to
some
what
Kenny
the man
Loggins. Kenny Loggins would be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff they could do.
some Steely Dan,
Man in the Mirror.
Hall & Oates.
There you go.
So yeah, that's just what I'm thinking about today.
Speaking of good soundtracks, Don't Stop Me Now. That'd be a great one.
Don't
Uh,
stop me.
that would be hilarious. Although every time I hear that song, I think of Jimmy Fallon.
Why?
Because he did that one for the lip sync battle. And it's one of the funniest videos I think I've ever seen because he just gets into it.
Also, how could we not say this? Fleetwood Mac.
But speaking of good soundtracks, it looks like there will be a good soundtrack also for Thor, Love and Thunder. We got the first teaser, this official teaser, I think they called it, this week. And this was in the midst of, so here's my day yesterday. Show up for opening of Disneyland, film Mickey Mouse, film all the characters, you know, whatever. Run over to Starbucks, get a cup of coffee, start putting up videos, writing about it. And I look at my email and I'm like, they put out a teaser trailer for Thor, Love and Thunder. I should probably get that up too. So in the space of an hour, we had like 2 Disneyland.
Like there was something else that happened yesterday morning that I can't remember.
Well, they also Tarzan's Treehouse, which we didn't make into the show tonight.
Yes.
There was also there was something else that was fairly big that happened.
Yeah, because I remember I also was up at like 5 a.m. and I'm just like sending you article after article after article.
Can't keep up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny because you get the teaser up finally, and it's just a teaser. It's not even a full trailer yet. So you don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, which I thought very effective teaser.
Mm-hmm. Real good.
Yeah, I mean, we're clearly gonna get some backstory and introspection, I guess, from Thor. It looks like. But what do you think of it before we talk about my thoughts?
Valkyrie looks amazing. Thor looks amazing. Natalie Portman. Jane Foster. Let's go. I'm very excited. It's gonna be so fun. Everything about this is fun.
Yes.
It feels, I mean, you know, not going to say anything about the first 2 Thor movies, but it feels like they are continuing what they did with Ragnarok very well. That's the whole feel of the trailer. It feels very...
In some ways better.
Oh, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. They were continuing it and building upon what they did in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's a darn good time.
Yeah, I totally agree. My one critique, and it's not a critique, it's more of an observation, is I feel like there's this thing where they're taking characters that have been around longer that have done really awesome things, and they're like, hey, we've never explored this person's motivations beyond what we said they were initially, which often are actually quite good. And then they're like, let's get psychological. And I'm literally, here's the jump. I was watching this and they're going through Thor's journey into discovery. And I was like, so they're doing Captain Picard with Thor. Because they both go on these adventures and they go out and do all these things and go around the world or around the universe. And then now they're like, oh, I guess we've gone everywhere else with them. We should explore inside. And I don't have a problem with it. It was more of just, I've noticed that they're doing that with quite a few characters lately. And I hope they do it better with Thor than they do with Captain Picard, Admiral Picard.
He's an admiral? Anyway.
You already knew this.
Yeah, I did. No, also like Taika is
awesome.
Genius.
Yes.
I would dare to say. And so I'm very excited to just see him do more.
Yeah.
I do need to watch Our Flag Means Death because Taika is and continues to be a genius. It is just really good stuff. Also, are you reading the chat? Because the chat's pretty funny. Let me read the chat for the people at home.
No, we're gonna read the chat when we go to Geeks Corner Plus
in 3, 2, 1.
Now we're gonna read the chat. In fact, I think that's the new thing that we're gonna do is when it gets to Geeks Corner Plus, we will answer questions and we will, for a few minutes, give it over to whoever's watching. So let's back up because there were actually some good stuff I think here beforehand. So Bailey said that Muppets Treasure Island retheme of Tarzan's Treehouse should happen.
But Muppets Treasure Island would work better as Pirate's Lair.
That would be
Retheme Pirate's Lair, Tom Sawyer Island to
sure.
Muppet Treasure
I
Island.
like that idea. Will Tarzan news make it on Geeks Corner?
Now
Plus?
it did.
It just did, and the news is that there is no news. Like
You're
it's just not coming back.
influential.
Will we be at the park Friday for the return of the Main Street Electrical Parade? You know it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't miss it.
I'm gonna make a
weather
joke, but
permitting.
don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't
I was so
manifest
happy
that.
when they announced that Jane Foster Thor was going to be in the movie. Yeah, she looks awesome in this.
She looks really cool.
Do you mean the new Guardians Treehouse?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Excited to see Guardians directed by TW. Absolutely. Mikey says fourth Marvel film or fourth film that is a
This is the
fourth in
first
a
Marvel film
series.
that I can recall that is a fourth.
and we'll look out for making too much of a good thing. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That could be.
But the first two weren't good. So does that like
Well, they were different tonalities. They were almost like a different. So you could almost say it's the second of a second iteration of it.
sure?
The soundtrack for Guardians Treehouse is lit.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
You guys can make him say fun things. It's like a Mr. Daps soundboard.
Retheme Pirates of the Caribbean to Muppets Treasure
There we go.
Island. You know what? Way less controversial.
There we go.
Do we have a Muppets wishable tonight?
Yeah, actually.
We do?
Here it is.
No, we don't.
And what is inside?
Nothing.
My disappointment.
Oh,
Wishables are getting a little too real. I can't put the bag down.
we're still working on Gonzo and.
You have to say that. You have to say that. You do have to say that, actually.
Go ahead.
No, you have to say that. It's a Mr. Dav soundboard. You have to say that. Totally poggers. You have to say
Thank
it
you.
now. You have to say it. You have to say poggers.
Oh, it's off the list.
You have to say poggers.
It's another Miss Piggy.
That's poggers.
Mhm.
Okay, whatever. I
Nice.
can't have any fun on Geeks Corner Plus.
Looks like you're having fun to me.
No, it'd be funner if you said poggers.
No, but I do find it interesting. Tarzan's Treehouse, to me, if I were to put my analyst hat on for a minute, this is not about IP at this point. I'm sure it will be. What I do think it is about is walking space for Phantasmic in a month.
Yeah.
And I think if you walk over there where they're opening up all of that region currently, and some of the walls have come down, and you can see how much more space there is. I think they're looking for every inch of space for Phantasmic that you can imagine. And I think you're going to get rid of that tree, that entrance,
And that's what is confirmed, correct? That it's going back to the original footprint.
Yep.
Blackbeard's ghost.
I love that.
You gotta say it.
You just did.
That's not how the game works.
I did have an idea for when to watch that. When was that? I just said that.
Not to me.
Yeah, I did. It was last week. It was after the show. I was like, we should watch Blackbeard's Ghost when, and now I don't remember when I said.
I don't think you said that.
Hmm.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
I don't know.
So what if you were to blue sky this?
Mhm.
What do you think, if there is a retheme, what do you think it should be?
What it should be and what it is could be a couple of different things.
Do you just want the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse back?
No, I mean, yes. I mean,
He almost said no,
Mr.
guys.
Daps, yes. From if I were in charge of Disney, no.
Okay.
And I think what there would be a possibility is don't they have a Disney or a Swiss Family Robinson Disney Plus series coming? And one of the things that seemed very notably absent to me is the fact that they don't have what it's going to be. They're
Mhm.
just like, it's
It's
just not
going.
going to be.
Tarzan.
And part of me thinks if it was going to be something like Encanto, which we've been seeing all over the internet, you would put that out there to kind of gauge reaction.
I also
And it could be they're doing that without even having to.
don't think that I don't think that it would fit in Adventureland. As much as I would love for Encanto to have something permanent in the parks, I just don't think Adventureland is the right feel.
Okay. Where would you put?
Where would I put Encanto?
I think Fantasyland is where Encanto
Yeah.
deserves to be. But
100%.
yeah, I would actually get rid of the back half. I mean, what I would do if I were really flush with money and could just decide these things, I would probably redo Autopia somehow and make its footprint smaller. Maybe even go over some of
Launch Bay?
no, some over some of the submarine lagoon, because I think that'd be really cool as a kid to drive over a bridge.
Mhm.
And so then you could bring that whole area forward, get rid of the water underneath the monorail in the back, and then part of that area of Autopia, make that an Encanto adventure area with either the house or something, maybe even an attraction back there if the footprint's big enough. You might be able to push it back up against the train area.
Mhm.
I'm not entirely sure about that. And it also involves some layering from where the subs are currently housed when they're not being used, some of them. But I think you could do some fun things with that area, and then that would really fit into the area. Or heaven forbid, knock out you knock out where the theater is, the Fantasyland Theater. Like that's a pretty big footprint too. Bart's Treehouse, that'd be funny. I don't know that I would love that in Adventureland because I don't know.
I want it to be a Star Wars Life Day holiday special treehouse.
Okay, there you go.
The treehouse with Scratchy and whatever their other names are.
Sure.
I don't know it.
I don't
Isn't
remember.
it Itchy? I don't know.
Maybe.
It's weird names. It's actually a treehouse of terror. Is that what those are called? The Halloween specials?
Yeah.
Ooh, spooky Halloween overlay. Overall, I'm excited, mainly just because that is such a congested area of the park.
It needs to be cleaned up a little bit.
So I think that giving that a better footprint is going to be better.
And honestly, you could do something with pirates there. You could do something with potentially Jungle Cruise if those actually turns into a franchise like it's rumored to. You could put more something from that could be, they did the whole Tree of Life thing, so that wouldn't be a huge.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never watched Simpsons.
They're fun. I used to watch, especially the Halloween ones.
Literally have never sat down and watched an episode of The Simpsons.
They're on Disney Plus. You could.
I could.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities, and I think it's wise of them not to nail themselves in right now, because I just think that unless you have a really solid idea that you're going to move on, you probably shouldn't. And I don't know that they do. Like, at the end of the day, it could be Swiss Family Robinson. It could be an updated Tarzan, something else, or there's just lots of different.
There's lots
Encanto.
There's lots of options.
Encanto is kind of the easy route right now, but I don't know that it's the best.
I don't know either, because honestly, the only thing that would make sense out of Encanto is Antonio's treehouse.
Yep, that's exactly where you go.
And that's all that would make sense, and that'd be great.
But also, what would you put in the tree then?
In the tree?
Yeah. Because isn't it just like
the tree house? Wait, what tree?
The tree, Disneyland. Like, what would you do to make it special?
Animals?
I know, but I don't know. I feel like
I'm so confused.
I feel like the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse offers more storytelling than Antonio's treehouse would.
Yeah, but either way,
I'm walking through with animals. I'm like, well, I could go to Animal Kingdom and see real animals.
Well, I was like, there wouldn't be real animals, Mr. Daps.
No, that's my point. Is I just don't know that it adds enough story.
Okay.
All right. Gigantic treehouse. Oh wait, they walked away from that movie. All right, we are running out of time. Katie, what should people do?
Just go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens, and subscribe to our mailing list so you don't miss anything.
And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a ton of videos from the return of Disney character interactions, traditional ones. We've also got some band videos. We'll have obviously Main Street Electrical Parade and more later this week that you won't want to miss. And maybe we'll even try to live stream it at some point. I don't know. We'll see. We'll also see how our connections are. That sometimes can impact things. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.
Bye.